It's ValleyRadio.net. It's Robert Miguel here doing the Texas 12-pack, counting down the top 12 Texas country songs of the week, as reported by the Texas Regional Radio Report. And, of course, it's time for number one. And before we get into the song, let's talk to the artist himself, Mr. David Adam Byrnes.
What's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, my man?
Oh, just living the dream here, brother. You doing good?
I'm great, man. Thank you so much for taking a minute to talk to us. I'm so excited. This tune is great. And again, you've got the number one spot on the Texas country music charts this week, man. How you feeling?
Man, it's awesome. It's actually crazy. I started looking at Beer Bucket List, and man, it went exactly number one a year ago too. So apparently, this week in March is our go-to time. But it's man, it was great. We've been pushing this song a while, and you know, it's one of them songs I've wanted a chance to record it for a long, long time, and so. I'm not only glad we got to have a single out of it, but that radio supported it so well, and we got our second straight number one with it. So
No, you know what? That you just reminded me. Yeah, so about a year ago, you had stopped by Uvalde. We did a quick interview with you, and then that following week, you hit number one, and then the week after that, we hit the Texas Regional Radio Music Awards. And so I talked to you pretty much back-to-back about this time last year, and here we are again, although this time around, the world's a little bit of a different place. So a year ago, we're at the awards, you know, you just hit number one. This year, coronavirus taking over. Everything's kind of crazy. And then obviously the Texas Regional Radio Music Awards are getting postponed. As a musician, as a number one Texas country artist, how's this affecting you right now?
You know, I mean, it definitely puts a damper on things. We, touring-wise, you know, we're just trying to be smart. You know, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a specialist, and so I don't know how much the fear is honest and how much we really need to watch. So we're taking every show day by day, week by week. You know, we're not trying to jump the gun. Obviously, we don't want to put ourselves, our fans, or anyone in any kind of harm. But at the same time, you know, we do got to make our living doing this. So we're if we feel it's safe, we're going to keep playing shows, and we'll just kind of see where everything goes. You know, and then we've also had another hit. My girlfriend, her dad, this past week had a massive heart attack. So I found out I had a number one while I was in the hospital there with them. So it's definitely been a whirlwind of emotions. But, you know, luckily there's country music, and I know the good Lord's got something in there in store for all of us. So it's just trying to keep the light on what matters and just keep doing what I can control, you know.
Well, I'm so sorry to hear about that, man. We will definitely keep you, you know, in our prayers, you and, you know, everybody involved. Yeah, that's terrible to hear. And like again, yeah, the world has kind of gone crazy. I'm kind of where you're at. I've seen some things in my years, and I kind of feel like this thing is really kind of overblown. But at the same time, I mean, I certainly don't want to be. I don't want to be one of the people that were foolish and not being careful. You know, after hindsight.
Absolutely. You know, it's at a point just common sense, man. Be smart. You know, if you do, you know, it's any sickness. Wash your hands, keep your distance. Just, you know. I think there's a smart factor to this, and, you know, and it just, use your head. It's that simple. Use your head.
Now, have you had to postpone any shows or cancel any shows here in the last week or so?
So we just found out our Friday night venue would like to look at a rescheduled date. It looks like we're going to be in Waco Saturday with actually my buddies, the Chad Cook Band. We're teaming up on a show this weekend. So last I heard, it's on a go. Like I said, we're just kind of taking it a week-to-week basis. I'm not even reaching out for next week's shows yet unless they hit us up. You know, I just don't want to jump the gun. You know, if we see an immediate threat, then absolutely we will call it off and not even consider it. But it's just hard to tell until, you know, different places, different matters. So
now this is, I'm going to ask this, but of course, if this is too personal, just skim on right by it. But I feel like, you know, some Texas country artists, you know, most of y'all are fairly independent, and I think some rely more on that stream of income, you know, with your career than others. Some people have, you know, regular day jobs and kind of do the weekend warrior thing. Mm-hmm. Are you prepared for this to really hurt your pocketbook, or do you have another way that you kind of make a living and make things work?
No, I mean, I'm a 100% full-time musician. I mean, if we're not touring, we're not getting it. But, you know, I mean, there's other ways to help guys like me out. You know, we have an online store with our merch. You know, the fact that, you know, I don't have a record deal, I do own the masters to this record that's out. You know, go stream the songs, and, you know, even more, go to iTunes. If you're one of the lucky few that doesn't have to worry about the financial part, find acts you like and actually go buy the music. You know, that's the stuff that can help us. But luckily, I kind of was raised old school by my dad, not to just live off the last penny you had. So, you know, I try to make sure I've got just enough to keep me afloat. But at the same time, you know, I mean, if we go months without touring, obviously we'll have to figure something out. But I'll tell you, out of everybody I've seen, I think Curtis Grimes just won me over. Which, you know, he's already a good buddy of mine, but he put a post out there about, you know, this is a time for us to try something else. You know, maybe go find a job if we need to earn some more. Or even, you know, guys like me, I'm going to take this time and try to maybe write a little bit more. You know, I've been so busy touring that writing's kind of been on the back burner. So, you know, obviously you got to be smart financially, but, you know, if this thing goes the way I think it will, I don't think it's going to have us down too long. I think everybody's just being the extreme caution, which ain't a bad thing to be. But, you know, I don't know. It's a hard question to answer 100%, but I'm going to take it day by day, week by week, and we'll see where it goes. But, yes, this is definitely going to hurt a lot of folks all over the music community, not only the artists, but, you know, our band members that rely on these shows for us to pay them, you know, the managers and the booking agents. I mean, there's a whole lot of people that this touches, not just the artist alone.
Now, a lot of your contemporaries are already kind of jumping on the bandwagon of doing, like, you know, streaming live concerts, you know, asking for kind of, you know, that virtual tip jar thing. What's your take on that kind of thing? It's kind of cool in my book, you know, but at the same time, when everybody's asking, you know what I mean, for you to give them $5-10 here or there, it's kind of hard to.
Exactly. It's you know, there's some cats that probably are in a desperate need right this minute. You know, like I said, I'm not trying to claim I'm living high on the hog by any means, because I'm the farthest from it. But we did discuss maybe trying to do one big one, really advertise it. You know, I don't want to be one of them guys that's online every single week talking about it, begging for $1 here and there. But if we can pick a day and say, you know what, let's make one big event out of it and get a lot of folks. And, you know, I'd be open to the fact of getting some other artist buddies and all of us doing one together. You know, there's ways to be creative around this. So it's just putting our minds together and letting the creative juices flow and see what we can do.
Yeah, it sounds like a virtual festival. That'd be kind of cool, man. Very good. Well, again, we'll keep on your social media, your website, davidadambyrnes.com, for all the details. Now, of course, the number one song, this is off the same record, right? So this is kind of your first two singles to Texas Country Radio have gone number one. I don't think it's happened before, has it, or not for a while?
If it is, I hadn't heard of it yet either. You know, I'm tickled to death. You know, we for those of that have followed, I think you've kind of heard the story. You know, I was originally with a record label when I cut this record, and I got the chance to work with Trent Willman, and then things went south last year while we were pushing Beer Bucket List, and so unfortunately we had to go about somewhere between 6 and 8 months without even putting out music. So the big concern was, does radio still remember me? Do they still care? And so, for us to have to go that long and then put out another single and to watch it just go straight to number one again, it's been a great feeling. But it's a great tone setter. We've actually got a release date for the entire record. It's called Neon Town. It's going to be coming out on May 22nd. And we hadn't said for sure, but that title track might also be our next single coming out next. So we're in that phase of making decisions. But there's a lot of stuff going on that, hopefully all this virus talk and all that.
Well, now, before you even put the record out, having two number ones is certainly, helpful. Are you already working on new stuff? What's the future looking like for David Adam Byrnes?
We are to an extent. Like I said, we recorded this record over 2 years ago, so the priority's been to get this one out. So, that's the first things first. But, I'm always writing. I'm always looking to decide what we're going to record next. And, a lot of people do know, I spent 11 years in Nashville before I came to Texas. I wrote pretty much 5 days a week for that 11 years. So, song-wise, there's plenty to choose from. I don't feel as urgent to have to get in the writing room to write so much as I do the studio to record them. So, Trent I remember us picking songs going, let's save this one for record 2 or record 3 or record 4. So, the songs are there. We just got to get the strategy and get this one out first. Now
spending the last, year in the Texas country music scene, and especially after being in, the Nashville scene for a good decade, I think you got some pretty good perspective now as to what the differences are. What's your take on it, and how's the last year being kind of solidly in Texas country been treating you?
Man, it's been amazing. There's a lot of cats that'll get on the Nashville versus Texas thing, and you know what? I think any smart artist can utilize the both of them, and they should. I love traditional country music. I grew up on that 90s thing, and, George Strait, Tracy Lawrence, Chestnut, and I just, I didn't grow up in a household that listened to a whole lot of variety. It was country music or bust, and so that definitely affected me. And I got the chance to meet and write with and play with a bunch of great cats in Nashville. But at the end of the day, I always just kind of felt like an outsider because I didn't do what everybody else did. And so when I got down here, just the welcoming arms I got, the touring we've done, I mean, shoot, I think we did just shy of 200 dates this past year.
Wow.
And this year, you know, depending on what's going to happen, should be no less. So, I mean, I just love the fact that the fans are so loyal here. They truly love country music. They love my story. I should have done it a long time ago. That's usually what I tell people when they ask me how I feel about it. So better late than never, but we're here, and I'm so appreciative of radio, the fans, the musicians, just everybody associated with it for taking this old Arkansas boy in.
Now, you mentioned Curtis Grimes earlier. Are there any other, like alliances or friends you made in the scene, bands, artists that you've kind of really kind of latched onto or kind of, created a kind of a, camaraderie with?
Man, there's quite a few. Obviously what started this whole thing was like Cody Johnson, and that, I was doing some dates with him and Aaron Watson and cats like that. But as far as just good friends, man, Curtis is absolutely top of the line. He had a lot to do with the decision for me to move here and what all happened. Brandon Ryder's taking me under his wing, Rich O'Toole, Ray Johnston. Drew Fish does this rider retreat that a lot of different artists come to, and I've got to be great friends with him and John Stork and Wynn Williams. Good grief, I can't think of all the names right here. Alec Fry. Chad Cook Band, that's, like I said, I'm looking forward to finally doing a show with them guys this weekend. They've been really good friends of mine since I first got here. So it's definitely a Nashville-style camaraderie and a good group of folks to get to be friends with around here.
Well, man, it's been really cool talking to you again. We got Adam Byrnes here on the phone. He's got the #1 song in Texas country this week. And, man, it's just really cool catching up with you. I was really looking forward to seeing you this coming weekend at the Texas Regional Radio Music Awards, but that's been postponed, so I'm sure I'll see you maybe, late July, early August, whenever they move that around too.
Absolutely.
But, man, congratulations on your success. I cannot wait for the full record to come out and then the new single thereafter. Let's go ahead and talk about the #1 song. I Can Give You One. Give us a quick rundown on what that song's about.
Yeah, man, it's one I wrote with Jamie Pollan and Justin Wilson, and Jamie Pollan didn't write that song. I'm all over the place. I wrote it with Paul Sykes and Justin Wilson, and man, it's one of them that kind of back to my story about Nashville of quote unquote being too country. We wrote this song back in probably 2011, 2012, somewhere in there, and Paul had that great guitar riff, and I don't even remember how the song just kind of fell out, but it's one of them just country songs, and I've always been known for being a guy that's kind of more the party or breakup sad song thing, and so to finally put out a positive love song, I felt like it was a huge step for me. So it's just good country music, man, and I'm tickled to death it's done what it has. Well,
man, the first time I heard Beer Bucket List, I really dug it, and then the first time I heard this song, I was like, dude, it's even getting better. So, man, I'm loving what you're doing, and I cannot wait to get my hands on a full record and just and see you come down here in these parts and do a live show sometime. Once we get over all the madness, all the craziness.
There we go. We'll put on some quarantine suits or whatever and just come do a concert together.
Right on again. Well, let's go ahead and play the song, man. Again, the #1 Texas country song of the week, Adam Byrnes, and I Can Give You One here on the Texas 12-Pack on Uvalde Radio. Thank you, David. Appreciate you, man.
Hey, thank you, brother.
If you want a little house up on a hill, a garden growing in the sun, a puppy running all around a big old field, baby, I can give you one. If you want an evening you can just relax, a place where you can come undone. If you need a shoulder rub and bubble bath, baby, I can give you one. If you want a kiss, if you want a ring, if you want a life that fits your dreams, if you want a man, the search is done, 'cause baby, I can give you one. you wanna take a trip you can't forget, or ride back to the town you're from, a reason big enough to hug your mama's neck, well, baby, I can give you one. If you want a kiss, if you want a ring, if you want a life that fits your dreams, if you want a man, your search is done, 'cause baby, I can give you one. Kiss, if you want a ring, if you want a life that fits your dreams, if you want a man, the search is done, 'cause baby, I can give you one. If you want a man, your search is done, 'cause baby, I can give you one.